Do you have enough light in your life? Are you soaring in the joy around you? Are you stuck and unable to make life happen? Stay tuned for the Rabbi Jenny Show, where you will learn how to bask in the light and find more joy and meaning in life. Call to talk to Rabbi Jenny at 888-565-1470 and email questions and comments at rabbijenny.com. And now, if you're ready, stay tuned for the Rabbi who will light your world on fire, Rabbi Jenny.
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Rabbi Jenny. I am so glad you're here. Like I tell you every week, I have missed you so much. I have. This is the most exciting hour of my life all week long. I wait for you. I really, really do. Before we begin the show, which is exciting, our topic today is self-respect. I'm going to remind you of Rabbi Jenny's two main ideas in existence. And the first one is that the world is happening for you, not to you. And that is absolute. So no matter the way it looks, it is happening for you. And the reason why it is happening for you is the second idea. And that is that you are divine, love, light, energy, always, always waiting to expand. So what may feel like a contraction, folks, is really an expansion. So the topic today, and I want to remind you of a couple things. Check out rabbijenny.tv if you want to watch old episodes, or check it out on YouTube. If you want to contact me, you can email me at rabbijenny.com, or you can just, call the station, stalkers welcome. I'm really silly today, guys. And it's because the topic today got me so excited. We are in the topic of self-respect, completely inspired by the Torah. If you listened last week to our show on fear, you would know what's going on. What is going on in Scripture is really exciting. Not so much for the Israelites because, they were brought to the land of milk and honey. The scouts went out, they got scared, and they didn't go. And that's what happens when we don't respect ourselves, when we don't trust our own moral code. So what's happening in our Scripture this week is a rebellion. Because what happens when we do not follow our heart, when we do not follow our soul, when we do not follow our own inner voice and respect ourselves, we actually begin what's quite like a rebellion. So let me tell you the story. It's really exciting. You got Aaron, you got Moses, and I've always told you that these characters are all living inside of you. They are all aspects of yourself. So Aaron and Moses are actually your holiest, most pure, sacred selves. The ones that can go the closest to the flame of God, the part of you that is chosen to be in sacred space with the divine part of yourself. That's what the Aaron and Moses are. But what happens is the people, Korach is his name. He's kind of a little stinker, a relative of Reuben, the oldest son of Joseph. It's always Reuben. It's always him. Anyways, so the oldest son of Jacob, by the way. And so what happens is that Korach calls a rebellion. He calls 250 people. They walk up to Moses. They walk up to Aaron. They say, "Who do you think you are? You are not better than us. You are not more holier than us. You are not anything, and we're done with you. It's bad enough you brought us to the land of milk and honey just to rot in the desert, but we're done. You keep yourselves way up high and you forget about all of us. And we actually want to be equal in power to you." And the reason why I chose the topic of self-respect is because each of these characters is actually a part of the whole. They're actually a part of the whole of Yisrael. So Korach and his people actually belong to the same collective as Aaron and Moses, but they play a different role. But instead of honoring and respecting the roles that each of them play, they become jealous and envious of this part of themselves and begin to rebel. And what happens is Moses falls to his face. He's like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe these people. I took them out of slavery. I've shown them the divine, brought them the 10 Commandments, I've freed them. And now they're like mad at me. They're jealous. They don't understand. They don't get it." And so he says, "Okay, people, you think you're so great? Bring some fire. Bring some fire to God. See what you can do with that." And the coolest part about this part of the story is the name Korach, the man who leads the rebellion. His name actually means ice or cold. And if you know anything about life, we need fire, we need heat, we need all the Moses in the world. But we also need cold. And if the cold doesn't embrace itself and is trying to be fire, then everything's fire and we get all burned up. Moses understood this and he says, "Bring some fire, cold boy. See what you can do." And so what happens is they all do. They bring fire to God in this story. And it's really interesting and kind of dark what happens. And I'm giggling because, I believe that scripture is supposed to make us laugh a little bit. The earth actually swallows them all up. That's what the story says. They're actually like swallowed up by the earth. And if you look at Moses and Aaron as the spiritual, divine, sacred part of us, and you look at Korach and his people as the material, earth-based part of us, if you have no balance, if you have no respect for the sacred spiritual part of yourself, you will be swallowed up by the demands of this earth. And that is why today's topic is self-respect. Because listeners, there is a time each day for you to honor and respect the sacred, divine, Moses or Aaron part of yourself. And perhaps you're not doing it. And you may not have known that that's what self-respect is. But self-respect is the most important thing on this planet. Because it means that you honor and treat yourself, your whole self, all parts, with the same dignity. You don't choose and pick parts of you that you want to expose. You actually honor all of them. How many times in our life do we run and run and run and go and go and go and refuse to rest? Refuse to spend time, refuse to be, and say, no. We don't need to do that. We need to work harder. We don't need to do that. And this has really got me going, this whole idea of respecting yourself. I looked up some quotes for you on respect. And actually, let me start with one of my favorites, Maya Angelou. She says, when we lose our love and self-respect for each other, that is when we begin to die. Because not everybody is going to be the same. Just like Moses and Aaron weren't like the rest of the people in their tribe. But when everybody plays their part, we get where we need to go. It's not about jealousy. It's not about envy. It's not about comparing or competing with other people. It's about standing in the role that you have and honoring it on all levels. One of the clear ways to disrespect yourself is to be jealous, is to compare yourself to other people. And how do we stop doing that? Well, we must recognize that when we're jealous of other people, we're not recognizing our own completeness. We're not recognizing our own divinity. And we're thinking that they have something in them that we don't. And we're striving for something that we don't have. And if you're constantly striving, then you're never there. And if you're never there, then you can never spend time with the divine. I have something fun to share with you, so I hope you'll have the opportunity to watch the video on respect. I'm a puppet freak. You may not all know this. I have been asked by my clients to bring the puppets on the show. So I have this really cool puppet that I got in Alaska. And I thought it was a really good thing. It's like a whole glove. If you're listening, I hope you're listening. And I hope it's making you so crazy because you're driving your car and you can't look at what I'm doing. But I have this 5-fingered puppet. And on this 5-finger puppet, it has every single major animal except the eagle in Alaska. They have the bear, the polar bear, the wolf, the moose, and the puffin, which is a really funny-looking bird with an orange beak. And I love this idea for self-respect because, if the bear doesn't hibernate, then the wolf won't eat. If the puffin doesn't hang out in the water, then there'll be nothing for the moose on the land. We all have a place. We all have something in ourselves. We all have parts of ourselves that we must respect. We must respect the wolf in us. We must respect our need for anger. We must respect our need for the hunt, But in the same way, we must respect our need to hibernate and be like the bear and be in a space of the sacred. And so what happens is Aaron and Moses are left now without these people. They're gone. They've been swallowed up by the earth. How many times do we get swallowed up by our material demands? I was watching it's a silly movie, but it's one of my favorites. It's called The Devil Wears Prada. It's a really silly movie, but it's a Rabbi Jenny favorite. It's with Meryl Streep. And she plays this editor of Vogue, and there's a young character. I can't remember the actress who plays her, but she actually wants to be a reporter, like a serious reporter. Like her soul has been crying out since she worked on the high school paper to be a serious reporter and expose the truths of the world. And she moves to New York, and the material needs of the world, the Korach in us, she needed a job, and so she takes this job working for the senior editor of Vogue, this kind of tough woman, and she begins to compromise herself. She begins to cross her own inner code, her own inner life. She begins to not respect herself anymore, and basically loses everything. Loses her relationship, loses her, the way she looks at herself, loses her friends. And it is only until she's completely swallowed up that she emerges and realizes she has to let go of this. And so, listeners, I think that there's someone out there today. I think that there's someone out there, I'm not sure who you are, but you're compromising. You're crossing an inner line within yourself. And you might be scared because to not cross that line, it might put you in a precarious material situation. It might put you alone. And that is why we have a Moses. And that is why we have an Aaron inside of us, because they're really, really good at being alone. I mean, the guy sat for 40 days on top of a mountain with God. This is the part of us that can be alone. But the other parts of us don't want to do that. But what happens when you cross your own line, when you violate your own sense of self and you lose your own sense of respect for yourself, everything falls apart, and you are magical. You are divine. You are capable of amazing things. And trusting that inner voice, trusting that part of you that's calling out, go here, go there, learn this. Don't let them do that to me anymore. That is too much. You can't talk to me like that anymore. You can't look at me like that anymore. I don't want to pay all these bills anymore. I'm done running this race. Any of those voices inside of you are important to listen to because they're signaling a line is crossed. And if you believe anything about metaphysicians or metaphysics or anything like that, then you know that eventually it does affect your mind, your body, and your spirit. And eventually you do become ill, and whether you look at swallowed up by the earth as, bankruptcy or getting sick physically, whether through depression or actually illness, it will happen because you've done something in your life that has crossed your own sense of respect. And, it's funny because I was really digging for times in my life when this has happened, times in my life where I've been forced to do things because of peer pressure or what other people would think. And every time I did that, every time I joined a sorority. I mean, really not the greatest self-respect move. Nothing against sororities, but I always badmouth them, I always consider myself not a joiner. And when I wasn't strong and when I wasn't in a state of respect for myself, I actually did that. And all that happened in that situation is my own self-respect was ate away. And not because there's anything bad about that. It's just we all have our own things that we need to do in life. Some of it can be about relationship, friendship, what we're eating. How many times do you walk down the grocery store aisle and say, I'm not going to get that, and you get it again? Every time you do it, you're eating away at your self-respect. You're negating the voice inside of you. There is a loud voice, usually recorded by others, usually one might say the collective unconscious, telling you how to be, how to act, how to feel. And then there is a still, quiet, sacred voice that's telling you the next way to go. No matter how scary it is, that's a real voice. That's a voice given to you. It's that same voice that I talk about at the beginning of every show. It's the divine love and light point that's inside of you and waiting for you to listen, waiting for you to take on the abundance that it has waiting for you. But it is so hard. And you know why it's hard? Because we don't stop and listen to it. And we can't stop and listen to it if we don't have a Moses and an Aaron. If we don't have that sacred priest and that sacred leader inside of us that will teach us how to be quiet, how to go to the beach, how to go to bed a little bit early, how to turn on that meditation tape, to turn off the TV, to listen to that voice inside of us so we can have that respect, so we can move forward. It's a really exciting show, guys. I have an amazing guest who's a great example of self-respect. We'll be right back. This is Rabbi Jenny.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it too. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you
Do you know
come
someone
in,
who's
baby.
currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins.
This program is brought to you by the law firm of Altman, Flynn, and Kubler. We practice elder law and intellectual property, including patents, trademarks, and copyrights. If you would like to patent your idea, please contact our Fort Lauderdale office for a free consultation. Call 954-563-4814. That's 954-563-4814. Or visit us online at altmanpatent.com. That's OLTMANPATENT.com. Spokesperson, not an attorney.
Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on The Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Rabbi Jenny. I'm so excited you're here. And if no one told you how fabulous you are, I am actually really excited to let you know because I feel you and I am so grateful to be able to tell you that. We're talking today about self-respect. And I've been reading a lot about how to respect yourself. Like what are the actions you can take to show yourself respect? One of the major actions is not to envy or compare or compete with other people, which we saw in our story. And there's also this idea of not speaking badly about yourself, not speaking negatively about yourself. How about not letting anyone force you to do anything without your approval? And how about not letting anyone force you to do anything for their approval? That's a big one. Controlling your emotions, increasing your knowledge, increasing your relationship with God, being responsible, making good choices, not violating your own inner code. Like we saw in the rebellion. These are all really important things to do when trying to gain self-respect. I also have a couple of new quotes for you. We got, when you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete to anyone, everyone will respect you. That's Lao Tzu. We also have Gandhi. They cannot take away our self-respect if we don't give it to them. And also Gandhi says, I cannot conceive of a greater loss than the loss of one's self-respect. If you respect yourself, others will respect you. That's what Confucius says, and I believe that. And interestingly enough, when you assert yourself in a way where you state only your boundaries and only what you will do, it's amazing how people will respond because you're speaking in the I statements. You're not speaking in the you statements and blaming anyone else. Our guest today is very exciting for the topic of self-respect. His name is Jeremy Crum, and he is the co-founder of SpiritEmpowerment.com. I can get him on the screen. That'd be awesome. He's also a board member of Sexual Assault Response Team for Victim Services of Palm Beach County. Welcome to the show, Jeremy.
Hello. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so excited. So, what do you? Let's talk about self-respect.
You know, I was listening to what you were just saying, and one of the things that I just recently actually heard is whenever you're saying something like "I should be doing this" or "I should be doing that," that keyword shouldn't be there, right? And so when you say that, then you know that you need to back up and say, "Do I really want to do this? Is this something that I personally want to do?" And if it is not, then do something different.
Right. I
mean, You're the creator of your own reality, and that's what's beautiful about this.
And
about this life.
and you are totally the creator of your own reality, and you're totally in the creator of how deep you respect yourself.
Yep.
And so tell us about spiritempowerment.com. What is Spirit Empowerment?
Sure. My husband and I, we started a business not too long ago, and we really believe that we create our own realities. And so we wanted to, one, create ours, and we wanted to help others create their reality too, and really help them perpetuate what they wanted in life. And so we help holistic practitioners through different coaching programs that we have. I also coach people through addiction, and also coach them through healing trauma as well. Something I hear you're pretty good at doing too.
Mm-hmm.
But we also work with energy and Reiki healing.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me you know a little bit about that
Just
as well.
a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Probably not as much as you know. So
Oh no.
okay.
No.
So let's talk about self-respect, because
Absolutely.
I love having the listeners. I have these exceptional guests come on that are living empowered lives or living these full lives, and I guarantee that there have been moments where you've had to confront your own lack of self-respect. Can you think of an instance from your own life where that's been?
Actually, I can think of two that really stand out for me. Probably about 5-6 years ago, I was managing restaurants, and I was doing good. I loved the job. It was stressful. There was certain things that I didn't like, but I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I wasn't doing what I'm here to be, right? Not what I'm supposed to do, but what I was here to be. And I had health issues from that, right? And I got...
What kind of health issues?
Well, my 2x4 to the back of the head from Spirit was that I was 25 years old, and I was on ulcer medication.
Wow. Okay.
I also was on anti-anxiety medication.
Okay.
My relationship at home, my personal relationship, was falling apart. And it was just time for me to do something. And so finding that self-respect and listening to myself, I went home one night and I wrote a letter to myself and to the universe, and I signed it. I was reading, what's that book? Eat, Pray, Love. And she does this, signing the petition in the book. And so I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I went ahead and I did it, and I took it to the fire, and I did a sacred fire, and I burnt it up. The next day, I went into work, okay? And the regional manager's there. I'm like, what is he doing there?
Right.
And then all of a sudden I see the HR director show up.
Right.
Okay, this is a little weird, but whatever. It was the day that we have our meeting. And so they sat down with us, and they looked at me and they said, well, we wanted to talk to you about something. And I said, okay, well, what is that? And they said, well, we just don't feel like, this is a good fit for us anymore. And so we've decided that we're going to go ahead and part ways with you. But, we want to give you a severance package. So, here I am the night before writing this petition out,
Right.
Asking the universe to help me out, giving me the best or better, so that I can do what I feel like I need to be doing, what I'm supposed to be, right? Living that self-respectful life, and it answers within 24 hours.
Well, and for the listeners, what was it about that job? Like, what about that job crossed your inner line? Let's get specific for them. 'Cause some people
absolutely.
are working and they don't know what it is. What was it about the job?
Well, we were working, the managers for this restaurant were working 60, 70 hours a week.
Okay.
And they wanted us to constantly cut back on the hourly employees' hours. And they even got to the point where they would constantly tell us, I heard like 2 or 3 times, we don't pay you to think, we just pay you to work.
Wow.
It was very demeaning in that kind of aspect of the job. I felt I'm somebody that empathically I feel
Sure.
the stress from the other people that I worked with, the employees, and me having to go and tell them that I'm cutting their hours back. I was even told to cut back like 5-10 hours a week, which is a lot of money in somebody's pocket.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I want to put this in the concept of these parts of ourselves, the material part that needs to work, and then the sacred part. If you're working 60 hours a week, there's no time for the sacred. There's no time to get close to the fire. And then if you're being put down, then you're not honoring your divinity. You're not honoring that. So it's interesting, like, to connect for people, like, they may not even know why they're feeling funny when someone talks to you or demands, somebody may call, like, I've been dealing with this, like, calls a last minute meeting, not even thinking about what's going on in my life. And, a last minute meeting at the end of the day, and you say, why does that feel funny? Why does that feel like that's crossing an inner line? And that's because they haven't been considerate. And then what are you going to do? It's not necessarily always leaving. It's not always necessarily to restore that respect. So name another instance, because I know you. I know a lot about you. So give me another situation that may be a little deeper, where it wasn't as obvious. It wasn't as financial. It was another way you were really not honoring your own inner code, and you didn't know it until you knew it.
Well, after having this position, I left, and I had other jobs in between, but I started teaching for the county. And I absolutely love teaching. I love the kids. I'm a big kid at heart. I mean,
And what do you teach? Because this is great. What do
I
you
was
teach?
teaching culinary arts.
Hey,
right?
I love it.
How
I love it.
creative is
Yeah,
that, right?
totally. Awesome.
And so I was doing something that I absolutely loved, right? But then it got to the point where I loved what I was doing, but I didn't like being told how to do it. Because there again, I wanted to be able to teach. I wanted to be able to impact lives. I knew that I'm supposed to be a healer. I'm supposed to be somebody that impacts lives in a positive way. And I wasn't getting that chance to do that in that position. And it wasn't so obvious at first.
Right.
It took me actually 3 years to sit down and realize, oh, wait a second. I'm not really getting to do what I want to do.
Now let's take it another step further, JC. Let's just take it one step further. Were you supposed to be doing it sooner, you think? Or were you supposed to be doing it when you decided to do it?
I was supposed to be doing it when I decided
Ready.
to do it and was ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it actually took me 5 years to get into the school system.
Right. And even to leave, like, everything you gained from those children, everything you gained through your experiences with them was it happened at the exact moment. And so just like you said, when we started, the shoulds and the coulds and supposed to be's, we have to really be careful, because it's that idea of, how are we talking to ourselves? Like you brought up, like, how are we, what demands are we making on ourselves? How much are we trusting that we're divinely guided, that order, that voice that's talking to us might not be talking to us about right now, but it might be edging us forward. It might be saying, like, take that class, or go do this, or read that book like you did, and then it opens another light and another light and another light. I want to hear about Victim Services of Palm Beach County. How'd you get involved with them?
Well, actually, I do a lot of work with a center up in Port St. Lucie, and the name of this center is called the Inner Truth Project.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And what is that? What are they?
The Inner Truth Project is a center for people that have been affected by abuse, by PTSD. It can people that have been affected by rape and sexual abuse, and it's there where they can go and really begin that healing process. And I started out where I went up and I was doing a Reiki circle. My husband and I were doing a Reiki circle.
And for the listeners, Reiki is an energy healing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's sorry. Sometimes I forget.
No, that's my job. That's okay. That's okay.
So here we are. We're doing this, and people just started to show up, and it was just like, wow, because this is something that they were needing in their life. And so then I was introduced towards the end of my career as teaching to the victim services of Palm Beach County, and I didn't even know that they existed.
And what do they? Well, you know what? What do they exist for? What are the victims of what?
They are there to help victims of sexual abuse, rape. They have therapeutic services as well. Mm-hmm. They're there to help folks who have been affected by a death. Mm-hmm. So if the police have to come to your house and tell you that a loved one has died, there's therapists that step in and help those folks through the process. Mm-hmm. And so they're there really, there's services there, and it's free mm-hmm. to anybody that is in Palm Beach County. And I would very much encourage all of the other listeners out there to check out these services in their own county, because I know that each county has something very similar. It might not be called the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so with this, we have the folks come in mm-hmm. and they will ask for different services, whether it be small group counseling, one-on-one counseling, or just even victims advocates, somebody that's going to walk through the system and stay with that person through going to the hospital after an attack and walking them through all the way through the process of going to court and confronting their victim.
Oh, and are we? Where are we? Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Okay. We'll go to a break? Yeah. No? All right. Cool. All right. We're going to go to a break, and we're going to hear how Jeremy Crum got involved with SART, the sexual assault response team part of Victim Services of Palm Beach County. Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on the Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. We are here with Jeremy Crum, the co-founder of Spirit Empowerment, and we were just getting ready to talk about his involvement in the sexual assault response team of Victim Services of Palm Beach County. Okay, and how can we connect that to self-respect? I have a feeling it's got a lot to do with that for you.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that we'll do is we actually put on workshops for first responders. And that is so important for somebody who has become a victim or is a victim of a sexual assault, because at that moment they are questioning their self-respect.
Okay, but slow down for me. Let's slow down. We went from being a teacher of we went from working in a restaurant, managing a restaurant, to cooking in school, teaching kids in school, and now you're working with the sexual assault response team. Connect the dots for me. What are you doing? What are you doing involved with that?
Well, I'm involved with that because in my life, I had my incidences, my experiences where I was a victim of sexual assault and of abuse, and that's really how I got involved with SART and with Spirit Empowerment, is because I know this might be a weird concept for some folks, but I think, are you ready for this one? This
I'm
is
ready.
in your book
I'm
too.
ready.
This is in your book.
It's in my book, folks. It's in my book.
I actually thank the perpetrators for what they did, because they were able to give me a gift that I can actually share this with other folks. I get to lead them down the path of healing. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't get to experience what I experienced in my life.
Okay, I'm going to slow you down again. I'm slowing you down, okay? Because sometimes, we got to go back to the self-respect part of it.
Right.
Because we got to connect the dots for our listeners who may need a little bit of the idea of maybe keeping quiet. Because I know Jeremy, and I know that keeping these secrets, keeping these incidents of assault inside, how does that violate your self-respect when you don't? And because I know you're speaking out about this now, so tell us about how your self-respect has increased as you are now open and honest about your journey.
Well, I can tell you that when I was going through the beginning parts of this journey, I did not speak out because I felt, one, I deserved it. And so even those little bits started to drop my self-respect, my self-esteem, everything. I deserved what happened to me. Boys can't be victims. Why didn't I fight back? Why, and at the time, I knew I was gay, but I also grew up in a conservative family. And so therefore, being gay was something that was of the devil, and I was going to hell, and how dare I? And so, it was something that I was hiding and I wasn't being respectful of myself or being true to who I was. And so on top of that, and on top of everything that happened, I really wanted to just kind of bottle it up and just not really pay attention to it.
Shut down.
And I just shut down. And that brought so much more turmoil to my life. It brought addiction. It brought, drinking problems, brought drug problems. I started smoking cigarettes when I was 14, 15, hiding it. And, it got to the point I hit my rock bottom. And it wasn't until I hit my rock bottom. I was sitting on the floor, of my bathroom in Hollywood, Florida. Sitting on the floor, and there's this dog licking my face, which was funny because I didn't have a dog. Somehow, between my drunken drug stupor, I acquired a dog.
All right.
Right. And here's this husky that's licking my face. And it was that wake-up moment that not only does the universe care about me, but the universe cares enough about me to send somebody to watch over me throughout my ordeal. And if that was so, then I have enough power, I have enough energy, I have enough in me to start caring about myself.
There was quite a bit of time, though, between that moment and this moment of speaking out.
Yes.
For our listeners, because, we always talk about time, and we were talking before about not being hard on yourself for not doing things fast enough, or not growing fast enough, or being fast enough. So, when you finally came out about all of these things, and I know you speak for SART, and you speak on TV and do all sorts of amazing things. Talk about the exponential increase in self-respect, because small acts lead to that big jump in self-respect. Like, people may be thinking they're not doing much by just, going home and resting. But that little act builds up enough respect to make the big leaps.
Well, and that's the thing, I had to do the little things to start getting comfortable. Mm-hmm. So, I got up off the floor. I returned the dog to whoever it was that I took the dog from.
I'm laughing with you, I swear.
So, that was actually, but I was starting to do little things. I started to get involved. I started to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And that's what is so important. Start talking about it. Start journaling about it. That was a big step for me, is to start writing a journal, right? And so I would journal about it. And I just started to find my voice. And once I started to do that, and it was a long time, because it actually took me, I think it was about 5 years after that, before I actually came out to my parents as gay.
Wow.
But I didn't tell them about what had happened.
Right.
And that actually didn't happen until recently, when I finally made the step of actually coming out of the second closet, right?
Right.
Of, this is what happened to me.
Right.
And I was invited to do a public service announcement, and I called you up.
Right.
And I was like, I was torn, because it was like, do I do this? Do I not do this? If I do this, then, my parents are going to know about it, and I haven't talked to them about it, and this and that. And it was just like, wait a second. What is right for me? Mm-hmm. What do I need to do? It's not what should I do. It's what do I need to do for me?
And tell, you mentioned the journaling, which I absolutely love. Tell the listeners what other things you were doing at the time spiritually, to build up your strength, to build up your ability to, because self-respect, again, is gained, is earned. Mm-hmm. It's not something that we just have. We have to take these little actions. So I know you were journaling. What other things were you doing? Was there some meditation, or?
I started to meditate. Mm-hmm. That was really hard for me, because I am a creative thinker, and I had this thing called monkey mind. And if any of you out there do meditation and you've heard of monkey mind, it's like you'll sit down, right, and you're going to say, oh, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes. And so you sit down and you're like 1 minute into it, and you've created your house, you've created a meditation room, and you've decorated your house and your meditation room. You've also created a partner, and you've created family members for that partner. And it's just like, and then you look up at the clock and it's 1 minute past, and you're like, I have 9 minutes to go.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
And so thus began my journey to figure out what I first thought was how to get rid of all those thoughts during meditation. Mm-hmm. And what I learned was that it's not about getting rid of the thoughts. Right. It's about letting that flow.
And not attaching.
Not attaching to it.
Right.
Right. And so that taught me a lot about self-respect. And this is what it taught me, is that when we attach to the traumas in our life, when we attach to the bad things in our life, when we attach to those what we think are truths about us, like you're so ugly, or you're so fat, or it lowers our self-respect.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's not taking in the totality of who we are as a divine being of love and light. It's simply looking at the material. It's simply comparing ourselves maybe to what other people think we should be doing, or other people think, we should be saying or feeling or acting. And it's very, it's cunning, folks. This is not easy stuff. I think it's probably the whole purpose of existence as a human being, which is why it's in this story that we talk about every week, and why we all struggle for growth and self-respect. So tell us about Spirit Empowerment. Any events coming up, anything you want to promote on the show?
Actually, yes. I'm getting ready to launch on July 4th my signature program that I'm going to be working with folks that are dealing with addiction and dealing with trauma, and I'm actually going to be working one-on-one with them in the coaching program to help release that. I'm calling it Breaking the Cycles.
Okay.
And that's Breaking the Cycles, Healing Trauma, and Releasing Addiction.
And how do they reach you?
They can find us at spiritempowerment.com. That's spirit-empowerment.com. You'll be able to find stuff there. We're also on Facebook. We've got Twitter. I mean, we're social medialized. I know
And
that's not
tell
really
me
a word.
tell me about the Reiki classes you're doing with you guys. You know, there's another guy in the studio with us, so we can kind of negate it. But
Well, we've got we had a lovely, wonderful teacher that has given us the gift of Reiki.
that would be me.
Yeah. And we are, my husband and I were Reiki Master Practitioner teachers.
So tell us, you have some events coming up, though.
And this Saturday we're doing at the Jamar Center up off of North Lake. We have Reiki 3 attunement that we're doing. I have a Reiki circle, the Reiki circle that I started a while back at the Inner Truth Project. The next one is going to be July 17th.
And everyone can find all of this on Spirit Empowerment.
Yep, they'll be able to find it on our calendar. You can sign up for a newsletter there. You can find it on our Spirit Empowerment fan page, which I want to encourage you guys to go there, because then you can find up-to-date stuff. Like, we're constantly on Facebook all the time via the smartphone.
Yay!
So, but yeah, you can find it there. And
Are you doing anything for SART coming up?
Actually, this morning I did do something. We don't have anything planned in the near future. We have a workshop coming up next month.
Okay.
And that's going to be working with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department. And we're going to be training the Sheriff's Department on how to ask questions and react and treat male victims of sexual abuse.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you so much, Jeremy, for being on the show. I'm so glad you'll stick around for the Jenny Jam and the Joy Jar.
Absolutely.
Okay. All
That's
right.
my
Thanks so
favorite
much.
part.
Okay, this is Rabbi Jenny. We'll be right back. Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins. Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny asking you, are you ready? Life can bring many challenges, and sometimes we need help finding the answers to increase our awareness and take it to the next level. So are you ready? Come join me every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WWNN 1470 AM, where you can hear and see me bring spirit, light, and love into your life. Are you ready? It's time to change your life, take it to the next level, and embrace the greatness that is you. Are you ready? The time is now. Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. on WWNN 1470. So let's get ready. Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on The Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. We are at an exciting time in the show because it's time for the Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Joy, 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 joy. It's
Adeline Gobergstein, and it's time for the Rabbi Jenny Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge. Oh, yes. Who's on the phone? Hello?
Hello, hey.
Who's on the phone? Who is this?
This is Eduardo.
Eduardo! Do you know about the Joy Jar Challenge? This is Rabbi Jenny. How are you, Eduardo?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Yes, I know about the challenge.
So do you know what you have to do?
Yeah, I have to tell you 10 things I love to do with my life.
Yes, and then, okay, are you ready? You have like 25 seconds. I'm very seriously timing you.
Here we go.
Go.
Spending time with my kids, riding my motorcycle, playing tennis, surfing, seeing my family down in Brazil, mountain biking, helping others, doing photography, which I do professionally, watching football, and traveling.
Hey, you got a bonus one for me? I need a bonus one. I'm feeling hungry.
Grilling.
Grilling. All right. What do you grill? What are you good at grilling?
My specialty is my chicken teriyaki wings, which my kids absolutely love.
Okay, you're going to bring me some, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, but it's got to be like salmon teriyaki because I don't eat chicken. But that's okay. That's good. That's good, Eduardo. So, you won the challenge. Yay! Woo!
Awesome.
Okay. What do you want to promote today on the Rabbi Jenny Show?
Well, it turns out that my business partner Julie and we actually host a radio show about motorcycling too. So we do a lot of what you do too, but we ride motorcycles too.
You ride motorcycles.
We ride motorcycles, and we do that as a business. We attend a lot of motorcycling events, and we help promote motorcycling businesses too.
Would you take me for a ride on your motorcycle?
What's that?
Would you take me for a ride on your motorcycle?
Anytime you want.
I am dying to ride on a motorcycle. You
And
promise? Maybe we could film it. That would be really awesome.
Anytime.
So tell us about your show. What's the name of your show?
Well, the name of our show is the same name as our website. It's USA to Ride. So it helps motorcyclists from all over the world to come and explore the beautiful roads we have in the United States. And, people who are interested in learning about what we do and exploring America on two wheels, they can actually go on our website. Can I give the website here?
Okay. I have a very serious question for you, Eduardo, because you have delicious energy, and I just want to keep talking to you.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you wear a helmet?
All the time.
Oh, good. That makes me so happy. It's like every time I see someone without a helmet, I think, ooh, there's natural selection. Woo, there
Exactly.
we go. All right.
And not only helmets, but one thing that we encourage on our show and our website is to always wear safety gear, to always ride prepared, never out. We always say that alcohol does not mix with motorcycles, so don't drink and ride. This is what we promote on our show and on our website. It's USA2Ride.com.
And what time is your show on, Eduardo?
Our show is every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7.
Okay.
And people can watch us live on USA2Ride.com as well.
Are you going to have me on the show?
Well, you are already my guest. I have you ready.
Okay. All right. I love it. Thank you, Eduardo. Thank you for calling in. Calling again. Have a blessed day.
Thanks, Rabbi Dennis.
Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, that was awesome. Talk about self-respect. Wearing a helmet when you're on a motorcycle. That's pretty self-respect. Like I respect my body. I respect concrete, and what it could do to my body. I love this topic of self-respect. And this idea, I have a couple of quotes that I want to read to you. One is by the Miss Lucille Ball herself. She says that love yourself first and everything else falls in line. Mark Twain says a man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. Perhaps some of the rebellious nature or the rebellion that's happening now in the scripture is showing us that we have to go through that rebellion. We have to confront the parts of ourselves that we don't completely accept or respect in order to come into unity, balance, and harmony with ourselves to move forward. So if you're not respecting yourself, this is kind of like an alarm for you if you're listening, that it's time to respect yourself a little bit more. Maybe start honoring the part of you that you haven't been. Listen to that voice. It can be something as silly as going to bed a little bit earlier or waking up a little bit earlier to spend time watching the sunrise. It can be something like this weekend I went to the beach and did a sacred ceremony for my father at 6 a.m. I didn't want to go to the beach at 6 a.m. I was tired. But that little voice said, get up, go out there, go be with the ocean, go be with the earth, and respect yourself. I think it might be time for the Jenny Jam. I'm feeling it. Are we feeling the Jenny Jam?
Jam, jam, Rabbi Jenny Jam, jam.
I'm really excited about this one, you guys. Respect what I'm here to tell you. Respect what is what you need. Respect what I'm here to tell you. Respect what is what I see. Back up and check yourself. The world got many parts. Back up. Respect yourself, your mind, your body, and your heart. It's not the way you make it, it's how you earn it back. It's not how fast you learn it, it's how you stay on track. Respect what I'm here to tell you. Respect what is what you need. Respect what I'm here to tell you. Respect what is what I see. Take time to honor deep, let go and praise your light. Take time to play for keeps, keep truth within your sight, cause it's not the way you make it, it's how you earn it back. It's not how fast you learn it, it's how you stay on track. Respect what I'm here to tell you. Respect what is what you need. Respect what I'm here to tell you. Respect what is what I see. Bring it home, send it down. Bring it home, send it down. Come on, JC. What is what you tell you. Respect what is what you need. Respect what I'm here to tell you. Respect what is what you see. Woo! I love that, Jenny. That is like my favorite one ever, man. I thank you so much for allowing me to write these ridiculous rhymes for you, because I really love it. We are talking about self-respect today. It's our last few minutes on the Rabbi Jenny Show. We've had a really exciting show talking about respecting yourself, and this is when I kind of cozy on up to you, and I keep the energy high and keep you thinking about this all week, going online and watching it again and thinking, how can I respect myself more, Rabbi Jenny? How can I do that? Well, that is the question I want you to ask, folks. I want you to ask it every minute, every hour. How can I respect myself more? Because there is only one you. He only made one you. That's a really big message. I haven't talked about that since my first show. But that is one of the biggest messages that ever came to me, that there are flowers, there are trees, there are birds, there are wolves, there are bears, and they all look alike. But human beings are all exceptional. We're all different. We're all special. And so are you, because you're one of them. And without you shining bright, we all don't get where we need to go, which is in bright love, 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 love. I will miss you. I can't believe it's over. Talk to you next week. This is Rabbi Jenny.
You have been listening and lighting up your life with Rabbi Jenny. Join us next week for another session of love, light, and joy as Rabbi Jenny takes life to the next level. Are you ready? Rabbi Jenny says the time is now.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host